everyone, it's Jeremy with BST Sportcards. So today we're going to tackle a topic that I think is becoming more and more relevant, and it has to do with card shows, going to card shows, and here's the big thing that I do at card shows, right? So I'm trying to promote the marketplace. That's my main goal when I go to these shows. But if you're going to a card show and you don't have cards and you're just promoting something, sometimes it's hard to get people to stop, right, and understand what's going on. And that's why I like to have these value boxes, right? So I have a dollar boxes split between the three major sports of football, baseball, and basketball. And then I actually have quarter boxes as well and 50-cent boxes. And then I have a separate box of everything that's sort of priced differently, but over $1. And I like to have these set up because one, I think it makes more people come to your table. One, you get to interact with them, you get to talk to them a little bit. Then I get to discuss what I'm doing with my marketplace. So that's sort of how I go about it, and I start the conversation. And the thing that I started noticing, because I started using my own inventory, I have tens of thousands of cards that I've collected throughout the years. So I went through and pulled stuff out, and that's how I first started populating those value boxes, those dollar boxes, and everything else. But I noticed once my inventory started getting depleted, I had to figure out a way to replenish that inventory. And I thought it would be a lot easier, but it turned out to be a lot harder than I thought it would be. So I started looking for different avenues to sort of populate those and repopulate my inventory with those value items. And today I'm just going to share what I do and what I look for and where I look to try to find these items. So there's pretty much four major avenues that I use to try to get inventory for these value boxes. And another thing I want to bring up is I don't think people realize how profitable those value boxes could be. If you think of it in just the terms of margins and things like that, a lot of the times, at minimum, right, I'm going to be getting probably a 25% margin of revenue there, which means if I have a card that's in my dollar box, I've probably paid 75 cents or less for that because I've either bought in bulk or I found something that was a good deal. And, I know that the value is actually maybe a little bit more than $1, but that value is going to be passed on to, the buyer. And it's sort of a win-win there. So when you're looking to sell a higher valued card, like something that's maybe $100, $500, $1,000, or anything like that, the odds of that card giving you the 25% return sometimes in the short span of time that you can populate a value box or a dollar box is a lot less, in my opinion. Now, I don't have stats to back that up, but if you think about it, sometimes you have to wait for the market to either adjust or that player to have a great season, and then you might see an uptick in his prices. And sometimes that can be 50% and stuff like that. But sometimes you have to wait over the course of a year or a course of the season or before the All-Star break or whatever it might be. But with dollar boxes, you don't really have to, that turnaround can be almost instantaneously. Like if I have a show next week and I buy the cards this week and they get to me in time, it's only going to take a couple days to flip that and make that return. Now, granted, these are, a lot of people that flip or something like that. And I'm not doing it, to make a ton of money. Obviously, like I just said, it's mostly to bring people to my table to discuss my marketplace and, ask them what they're looking for in a marketplace and stuff like that, so I can make it better. But you know, the main thing is that it's still there, and it still helps me gather money to do either development work that I want to do on my marketplace, which also costs money. If I want to do more marketing, if I have to buy things for the company, if all these things, supplies, whatever, that's what I usually use. That I also use it to buy more value bin items for my value bin. So that's what I usually use those profits for, because they're pretty quick profits. So, like I was saying before, I found it very hard to find good items that can be put in these value boxes. A lot of people say, "Hey, you know, I have a perfect lot for you," and they'll send me pictures, and I would say 80% of the time the stuff is complete base junk. We're talking 90s stuff a lot of the time. We're talking, you know, top series 1 and 2 of the very low end rookies that aren't even in the league anymore, things like that, that they're wanting dollars for and everything like that. So I've been able to be a little more picky on what I'm looking at and stuff like that. And like I said, there's 4 avenues that have really helped me take a look at this stuff and really pick and choose what I want with each sport. And I can actually, you know, we're in baseball season, so I can pick more baseball for these boxes and have more baseball than I had basketball or football at the time being, because I know they're going to sell better. And also, right, basketball playoffs are going on. So if I know there's a player doing really well in the playoffs that's, you know, sort of a lower name or something like that, then, you know, I can buy some of those items that are cheaper and put them in the dollar bin, because if someone sees them doing well in the playoffs, then they're going to say, "Hey, you know, this guy's in the dollar bin. This is a chance. I'll take a chance on this guy, right? For $1, maybe it jumps up to $5. Who knows?" So the first thing I do is I go into Facebook groups. There's tons and tons out there, right? But I look a lot for the fire sales, and I sort of don't go for the auction pieces of the fire sales that they do, right? I'm not going to sit around and watch it, you know, for the 3 days that the sale's going on or whatever. I always go for the claim sales, and I stick to, right, sometimes they have 50-cent stuff, sometimes they have $1 thing, so I'll buy them for $1. I know I'm not going to make any money in my dollar bin, but maybe it's a cool item that someone sees and they keep going through that dollar bin, right, and they pick up stuff that I got for less than $1. So that's the first thing I do is I get in those claim sales a lot, and I take a look, and, you know, sometimes I can get 50 items that will be that I can, right, and they already come in top loaders and sleeves, so I don't have to worry about that. But I have those items in case I need them, in case they just come in a sleeve. But what I like to do is, you know, I'll get 50 cards or something out of that claim sale, and I ended up, you know, I just did one where I got about 50 something items between, it was more basketball and football, paid $50 plus the shipping that was included in that, and I got about $50 worth of cards is what I'm saying. And I think I paid $22.50. That included shipping to me, priority. So right there you can see, right, I'm already ahead. Now again, those cards have to sell, right? All of them have to sell, or at least 23 of them have to sell for me to come out ahead. But I'm not worried about that, because that's inventory I now have. I am an LLC, so, right, I've purchased inventory. If you guys haven't started doing this stuff because of the changes that eBay have made and everything else has made, PayPal and stuff like that, you know, the stuff that I'm purchasing and then I'm selling and stuff like that, I'm keeping tabs on all that, right? That's everything that I can claim on my taxes, and I can deduct on my taxes, whether it's supplies, whether it's, you know, mailing supplies, profits, losses, right? All these things you definitely need to look into if you're serious about this, because taxes are always there. You can get around them in shows. Everyone knows that. That's why shows, I think, are becoming more popular. Everything's cash. There are some people that take PayPal. Usually it's friends and family because you're right there. But it's just one of those things where, these are things that I'm purchasing for inventory for my business, which you can claim as inventory and stuff like that. And then, it all balances out in the end. So that's the first thing I do. I go into these Facebook groups. The second thing is I am in some Discord groups, some that I pay to be in, very low fees, like $4 a month or something like that. But they're worth it, in my opinion, because there's also people in these groups where if I make a post saying, hey, I'm looking for items for my dollar boxes or my quarter boxes and stuff like that, I can usually have a bunch of people reach out to me with pretty decent deals. Now, again, you're going to have to weed out the guys that send you complete garbage. You're going to get that more often than not at the beginning because everyone's just looking to get rid of the stuff that they don't want. But sometimes you're going to find people that are serious about, right? They have lots of, variations, mosaic, prisms, colors, parallels, cheap autos, cheap relics of just not people that are very known or sought after. But if you're going through a dollar box and someone's with their kid or something like that, and they see an auto for $1, that might be that kid's first auto on card or, on a card or something like that. So that's pretty cool too, to be able to provide them with that and stuff like that with such a low, that kid might have $1 that he's earned, and it's he's going to be able to spend it and get an autograph. And as a young kid getting into this hobby, there's some pride in that. Like, hey, I've worked for this dollar. At least that's how I felt when I was a kid. I would mow lawns, I would rake leaves, and then I would take that money and go down to a local card shop and buy whatever it was at the time, 92, 93 Fleer Ultra. I don't know what I was buying at the time. Stuff that's pretty valuable today, but as a kid, I beat it up, right? Non-gradable stuff, but there's some pride in that where he's like, hey, I've earned this $1 and I got this autograph. This is pretty awesome. I'm going to keep doing that. And then it's, someone that has a positive experience in the hobby, and hopefully that positive experience, keeps going on in the future. So, but yeah, Discord groups is the big thing there. I'm in a couple of them. I reach out, right? I weed through them, and then I find the deals that make sense. A lot of times I be as specific as possible when you post these, these threads, if you're asking, because I always have to be like, listen, these are for dollar boxes. If the amount of cards divided by the price you're asking comes out to more than $1, it does not make sense. And I have to say that quite often, which is baffling to me, but a lot of people will be like, hey, I have all these, and then I have this $20 card and this $5 card. Well, that's not what I'm looking for. There's time and place for that. Maybe I'll look for it in the future or something like that. If I think it's something that I can bring to a show or sell or something like that, or something I PC, I'll take, I'll talk to that person about maybe purchasing that item. But if it's a dollar lot and a guy's trying to throw, $20 cards and $30 cards at me, and I'm not really looking for that, or they're asking $1.50 for card, and that's I want to put in a dollar box, right? That doesn't make sense. So you have to go through that process and be very specific for what you're asking for, and that's what I try to do. Another thing I do is I go on blowout forums quite often. There's a lot of people that put claim sales in the blowout forums, and they have lower price items that they're just trying to get rid of. And I found complete gems that way of just stuff that's I've actually kept in my PC. I found Darius Garland Prism rookie cards and select rookie cards, variations and stuff that I just kept because I was like, man, this is a great deal. And I've been collecting, I've been sort of piecing a little bit of Darius Garland as well. So It's another great resource to go into Blowout Forums Marketplace and look at, items that are, dollar, that they're asking for $1 or less and stuff like that. So always great. There's people that make trades too. If you have a higher end card, if I have a $50 card and I'm like, hey, if you want this card, what do you have a lot of cards that maybe I can look at for this or something like that. So there's always stuff like that. And then finally is at the shows that you're at, go through other people's value boxes. You'd be completely surprised how many times I've gone through dollar boxes and found crazy stuff. I went to the Shipshawana show where Card Collector 2 was there, and I went through, they had a whole EU table of value bin cards, and I went through the dollar cards, and I found a Darius Garland Panini Prism. I don't know what it was. It was one of the variations, Fast Break or something like that, right? And I was like, holy crap, this is in the dollar bin. And then I asked the guy, and he's like, yeah, everything in there is $1. So, I wanted to make sure it wasn't, it was supposed to be there, but it was. And I went ahead and sold that on eBay the next 2 days, like 2 days after that. I was there Saturday, and I threw it up somewhere. I didn't throw it up on eBay because I don't use eBay that often now, obviously, because my marketplace is, I'm not going to say competing with eBay because eBay is a monster, but I don't want to use eBay if I don't have to. I only use eBay to fund things that I want to do to my marketplace if I want to sell things quick, because their audience is just massive. But I sold it for I sold it at a show. That's it. I sold it at a show. I had it for, I think I sold it for like $40. So I bought a Garland out of Card Collector 2's dollar box, and I sold it that Monday or at Sunday. Yeah, that's it. The card show was on Saturday. Card show was Saturday at Shipshawana, and I had another card show I was in on Sunday, and some of the people that had tables at Shipshawana were also there. This one's in Northwest Indiana that I was in, and I sold it to someone there at the card show for $40. I think I had it priced at like $50, and he was like, hey, would you take $40 for this? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yes, I will take $40 for this because I got it for $1. So I made $40 on $1 investment there. So always go through other value boxes, maybe even, because then that $40 that I made, right, I took and I bought more inventory or supplies or whatever I needed. But it's always great to go through other value boxes. One, just to see what other people have, and two, you never know what you're going to find. And that's what I think is awesome about value boxes and dollar boxes and stuff like that. I think it's the staple of card shows. In my opinion, I think a lot of people think card shows is just cards and cases, and a lot of it is. And there's a lot of cool cards that people have, but there's not always, everyone at that show is not a buyer for those high-end cards. But I have regulars that come to my table every show now, and they go through my box, and they'll take $50 at a time out of that thing, or they'll go through my quarter box, and they have a stack of 200 cards, right, that are a quarter, and then I can just replenish that pretty easily with everything that I have. So that's what I kind of do. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit because I think it's a cool thing. I've only been, setting up at shows for about 1.5 years now. I sort of stopped. I did my first show, I guess, almost 2 years ago. But then, right, I sort of got hooked, and they're a blast now. You pretty much connect with people. You make friends. You make acquaintances. You make business partners, business friends, and stuff like that. You're making trades. It's just a really cool thing. If you've never been to a card show. I'm sure most people that are in this hobby have, whether it's the national or something like that. But it's always a great time to go through those. I know Card Collector 2 has been putting out YouTube videos about value boxes because that's one of his big things. He goes through that, and that's something that I love to do as well. So I always find those videos very interesting. I think he gives himself, what is it, like $200, and he has an hour to go through. I can sit down at a table for an hour if they have enough boxes, and I will just go through and go through and go through. And I find that relaxing. As long as there's a chair. Man, sometimes when there's not a chair and you have to stand there, that gets a little brutal. But other than that, it's great. So give that a check, if that's what you're sort of looking at, or you want to do your first show. I would always recommend to have a dollar box or have a value box and stuff like that, and take a look at these Facebook groups, Discord groups, blowout forums, and check out other value boxes that are there. It's always a good time. Just don't steal cards that I'm looking at in the value boxes. So if anyone goes to the shows that I go to. But yeah, so that's why I want to just jump on, do a quick little show about that. Appreciate the people that have signed up lately. We've got a bunch more people that signed up, so that's great. Give us a check. Again, it's bstsportcards.com. We are a marketplace that has no final selling fees. Everything is subscription based. I will scroll down and show you exactly what that pricing is. This is our pricing, so you can see for 1 year, you can sell as much as you want. We never take any fees, and it is $70. Month to month is $7.99. 3 months is $19.99, and then you have 6 months for $37.99. So give us a check. Give us a look. You can see there's a bunch of stuff. Oh, you can see my dashboard and everything that I'm selling. But take a look. You can see that there's baseball, wrestling, Fortnite's up there. We have some pretty big Fortnite items that have been up there. All sorts of stuff that people are listing, autos, right? All these things. So, and you can get them from pretty cheap, right? We have stuff here that's $1.99, plus shipping for autos. Travis Swaggerty right here, Tuki Toussaint, Heston Kierstad for $15. Brent Rooker, all sorts of stuff that some's fixed price, some's auction. You can see 50-cent auctions here, all sorts of stuff. So check us out, and if you have any questions ever, feel free to reach out to me at jeremy@bstsportcards.com. All right, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. I have a show next week. It is in the VFW in Lake Station, Indiana. So if you guys are in the area and you're hearing this, hopefully you come on out. If not, happy card hunting, happy hobby, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.